this exit management webinar. The webinar is organized in the framework of the Cluster Act project. This is a co-funded EASME project, fully dedicated to blue economy and maritime sector. It is really important today to speak about exit management because this is the last year of the project, and this is the year dedicated to matching event in all the countries which belong to the project: Italy, Egypt, Spain, Croatia, and Greece. So it's very important to learn good experience coming from the floor and also the investor point of view. So today we have 5 speakers. We will launch the first speaker in a few seconds. All the Q&A session will be performed at the end of the webinar. Anyway, during each presentation, don't hesitate to put a question in the chat, which is positioned in the top right button of Zoom tool. So I give the floor to Marco Getz and Michele Tornielli. Thanks.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marco Getz. I work with Arsenal. And here with me is my colleague Michele Tornielli with Fincantieri.
Hi, everyone.
So I'm going to spend a few words about my company, Arsenal, which is a small company that recently got bought by Fincantieri, which in turn is a very large company, a shipbuilding company, one of the largest shipbuilding companies in the world. I'm lowering my mask just to look less anonymous for a second. Now I have to put it on again because we have strict policies about wearing masks here in the office. And I'm going to show you a very, very short presentation. So just let me share my screen. And please tell me when you can see my screen. Okay. I see Carlo nodding, so I think it's working.
It works.
Okay, so this is a very, very brief history of Arsenal. Arsenal's story is kind of a bittersweet story with a happy ending, and you'll see in a moment why. So Arsenal is not technically a startup. We've been around since 1998. Actually, I was hired two years later, so in 2000. But Arsenal was founded in 1998 by engineers coming from the aerospace industry. So they were colleagues in a very famous Italian company in the aerospace industry. And they worked closely with the flight simulation teams. So you can imagine military flight simulators. They were already very advanced at the time, and they got very passionate about this topic. So simulation and 3D graphics simulation specifically. So they decided to found a new company, a startup, and try to bring 3D graphics and virtual reality technology to the civil industry. So they wanted to apply the same technology they discovered in the aerospace industry to the civil industry. Of course, we're talking about a time when mostly nobody knew about virtual reality technology, apart maybe from very few movies in the theater. But still, there was it was a very promising technology, and we saw a number of applications that could be useful in the civil industry. There were challenges, so advanced technical skills were required. That's why they hired me, because I had a personal experience in this field. not a formal education, because there was no formal education in this topic at the time. Now you can have university courses and classes about 3D graphics, game development, which is almost the same technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, and so on. At the time, there was no such thing. Also, the market was very difficult. There was no room for small players like us. The market was dominated by very few big players, and the development tools were really expensive. We found a few tools in the open source community, so we could actually start developing virtual reality software without spending much money. We didn't have much money to spend, so that was the only way. We were lucky enough to find some very valuable tools, and I personally invested my time in bringing those tools to a higher level of quality. So the first years in Arsenal were about developing the tools. And the subsequent years, we refined the techniques, and we started producing very high quality virtual environments and softwares. But we had, we lacked something that was necessary, and that is marketing and communication skills. So we were mostly technical people, engineers that founded a company. I was studying at the time, I was still a student, and I had only a technical background, nothing in management, communication, marketing, or whatever. And the managing partners didn't realize that this kind of skills are necessary. So you can make a beautiful product, something impressive, something, a breakthrough, but if you don't know how to sell it, then it stays with you and you can't grow up. So we couldn't grow over time, not as much as we'd like. And this is why I say we were not technically a startup, because we had been around for a while, but we stayed at the size of a startup for a long time. So in 2014, Fincantieri asks us to produce some virtual mock-ups of their projects. Fincantieri, especially the oil and gas branch, they were developing a number of modern drilling ships and other equipment for drill ships. And they wanted to make virtual mock-ups for presenting the project to the people, to potential customers, for example. So we made virtual mock-ups that they were basically simulations, 3D simulation, full interactive. So you could not only explore the project in 3D and with virtual reality headsets, but also you could interact with the objects in the 3D scene. You could activate pieces of equipment. You could run animations, simulations, and so on. They were quite complete. And we traveled a lot in different exhibitions around the world, showing these mock-ups to the people, to potential customers, to investors, and so on. So they were a huge success, but they took time to be made. So basic workflow was that Fincantieri gave us the drawings, the plans of the project, and in I don't know, a number of weeks or months, we made the final product that we could actually take around to exhibitions and show it to people. So this prevented the tool, the virtual mockup, to be used as a design review tool. Because in design review, you have your project in a 3D form, and you want to explore it as quickly as possible. You can't just wait 3 weeks for a virtual exploration to be done. So Fincantieri asked us to make a new software specifically made for design review. So the software named Cobalt was too a huge success. In the meanwhile, we started a project with the University of Trieste to assess the effectiveness of virtual reality in design review, because you may want to make a tool, but you have to be sure that it's actually useful. So this was the usefulness was demonstrated by a team of researchers at the University of Trieste. So this new software was a success. Fincantieri is happy with it, and it decides to buy 24% of Arsenal. This is the start of a very close collaboration between Fincantieri and us. In 2020, last year, they decided to buy the remaining shares, so they become the only owner of Arsenal. And the future starts here. So 1 year have passed, and now Arsenal is involved in 5 high-tech projects in Fincantieri within the digital innovation branch. Not only virtual and augmented reality, so what we were done before, but also robotics, industrial IoT, and computer vision. So we are expanding our portfolio, our range of activities, and most importantly, we're making our team grow. So what we couldn't do in 20 years, in the past 20 years, we're doing now. In 1 year, we've been growing way more than we've done in the past 20 years. So now, thanks to Fincantieri, we can actually do what we couldn't do before. That is, sell our products to not only to Fincantieri itself, but to the market as well. And that's pretty much what I have to say. Now I'm giving the stage to my colleague, Michele Tornielli, which is with Fincantieri. So he'll be able to tell you why they decided to buy us and what they intend to do with us.
So thank you so much for hosting me in this congress or this meeting. It's a very pleasure. And I want to continue what Marco said before about the story and why we decided to start this journey with Arsenal. As Marco was saying, the story started with Arsenal that was building a software dedicated to Fincantieri, but the company has some luck, as he was saying, it was not able to grow up. From our point of view, we saw a big potential, not only because the product that they developed was fitting our need. At the end, we customized on our need. But let me say at least 3 components. First of all, the skills that was in Arsenal. Okay, the team was very small, but if you have 1 or 2 good people, you can grow a really good team around him. Also with the young people that you can train. So find this kind of skill on the market is very difficult, and we had the opportunity to in-source this kind of skill acquiring Arsenal. So at the end is make or buy. We decide to make at the end with this approach. Second, virtual reality is for sure one of the main technology we are betting on in Fincantieri. So we are using virtual reality across all our projects, from the engineering part. So we are designing inside the virtual reality environment. We are doing design review with Cobalt. We are presenting our product to the clients. So we are designing, implementing our cabins, for example, or public spaces, public area inside the ship to our clients. So instead of building the physical mock-up, mainly in this period with the coronavirus, and so, for example, our client in US cannot fly here to check in the shipyard how the mock-up is. We are able to ship around the world the digital version of the ship, and the people can sign the document required to start the building. So this is for sure important. Nor last but not the least, there is all the topic about augmented reality. We were starting at the beginning of the journey, and inside Arsenal there were this kind of skills. So we are also, for example, developing internal product using mixed reality, the HoloLens, for example. And as I was saying, there is a lack of skill in the market, And moreover, the complexity of the product that we are using doesn't allow us to go on the market and source from the typical tools on the market. They are not suiting our needs. So we had the need to build something internally. And as Marco was saying, we believe a lot in this company. There are the skill. We are starting to explore new area. At the end, innovation is good only if you mix the different technology. So all the elements that Marco said, IoT, virtual reality, augmented reality, cloud vision, at the end are part of the concept of digital twin, if I want. And this is the target where we want to arrive. And of course, giving a team to Marco to grow can allow us to reach this target. Another element that probably can be important is the agility that a small startup can have. At the end, Arsenal is still a startup inside Fincantieri. You can imagine that Fincantieri is a billion company, so has some very strict projects, quite perfect, but not agile, honestly. And working with a small company can allow us to overcome some difficulties that probably with a typical project we cannot override. So having a small company can allow us to make innovation that in a very structured company can be difficult. Last but not the least, the communication, the sale point is valid also inside the big company. One of the biggest effort we have done, and probably we have been doing also now, is to communicate to our client that in case is our colleague, but for at the end are our client, the value of the virtual reality, and allow them to adopt this new technology. And in these very days, we are also reshaping all the branding and the marketing part, because we are starting to grow in the market. And tomorrow we will meet our first client. So this is the story of Cinderella of Arsenal from our side.
Okay, I think this is gonna be all from our side. So I'll hand over the presentation to the next speaker.
Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Michele. Thanks for a good experience coming from a young startup and the big Fincantieri international company. And now we give the floor to Francesca Natali, and Francesca will show us the venture capital experience. Please, Francesca.
Yes, thank you very much, Paolo. Good evening, everybody. Give me a second to share my screen with you, and let me find the right, yes, it should be this one. No, it's not, no. Just, I mean, a brief introduction about myself. In the meanwhile, I will try to find my presentation on my screen. I am a managing partner of my financial company, which is MetaVenture, and MetaVenture is investing into early stage companies since 2005. We have a number of companies in our portfolios. They are based in Italy, mainly in Emilia-Romagna, and then we have also company in our Polish portfolio, and then we have also more companies in Slovenia. Today, I would like to present our latest exit, which is linked to our Emilia-Romagna investment. So let me check. Let me find the presentation. Questa video schermo. Okay, now it should work. I have too many files on my screen, but now you should see my presentation. Is it correct? Okay.
Correct.
Great. I will put in the presentation mode. So, I mean, as I was saying, I mean, we have started to invest since 2005. We are an international companies, and because we started to invest, I mean, since 2006, 2007, we have so far a number of startups which are in the process to be sold and to reach the exit. As I said, I mean, the exit I would like to present is referred to an ICT company based in Bologna, which moved to Berlin and then to New York. The play we game when we invest into early stage company is to reach exit. That's the moment we are keen to achieve since the very beginning. Since the moment we select and we decide to put the money of investor into the selected company. Investors wouldn't invest without a clear exit plan. The exit is the moment that investor will achieve the reason why they are playing the game, because through the exit, investors are capable to capture and then to distribute the value that has been created into the company until the moment. Of course, because I mean, investing into early stage company, it is a very risky business. It is mandatory for early stage investors to select and to perform carefully due diligence in order to select profitable companies, means companies that can be sold at the right time, at the right price. In order to reach the exit moment, it is mandatory to fix clear rules of the game and to select on the right management team. In the example that I will present you in a moment, the management team has been the crucial point, the strength of the company, because thanks to the management of the company, the management of Springer, we were capable, after 10 years from our investment, to reach the exit. I would say, I mean, a nice exit, which made investors quite happy. Of course, if you are also lucky, it may help you in having more chances in reaching the exit sooner. There are a number of engagement rules that investors negotiate with a target company, which are rules that should help investors to protect their exit. So if you are a startup, you should be ready to negotiate all those rules, because all those rules are very important, are very relevant for an investor perspective to reach and to protect the exit. In our case, for example, it has been quite important to have into the article of association the liquidation preference, because it means that the first money that will go out from the company will go to restore the investor investment. So all those rules are important and relevant because they help investors to protect their exit. Of course, we are looking for great company, for high growth, high risk company that could look like Microsoft on Facebook. But fortunately, we selected Spreaker, which is the company I would like to present, and which have been sold late these years to a company listed in the New York Stock Exchange. Spreaker was born as an innovative company in Bologna in 2010. So it means that it took 10 years for the investor before reaching the exit. The company went through a number of turbulences, through a number of adjustment of the business model. And I have to say that thanks to the vision of the CEO of the company survived through all those turbulence, and at the end was capable to negotiate the merging with High Earth Media, which is, as I said, the buyer of Spreaker. High Earth Media, I mean, didn't buy directly Spreaker because the company that was bought in October 2000, sorry, there is a mistake, in 2020, not 21, was a joint venture, US-based joint venture set up by Spreaker in 2018, and one of the most relevant American competitor of Spreaker. The CEO of our Italian company in 2018 set up VoxNext, offering for free a small percentage of the shareholder of the capital to High Earth Media, thinking that High Earth Media could support the company in terms of advertising support. The COVID was the right moment, I mean, for the company to start to negotiate with the minority shareholder a possible acquisition. The market was growing thanks also to the COVID, and High Earth Media decided to buy our shares and the shares of the other founder of the American company VoxNext. As a result, by the end of 2020, High Earth Media bought the US company founded by Spreaker, and took the CEO of Spreaker into the new adventure. What I have learned from the process is that early stage investors should be really very patient. They have to wait the right moment to start to negotiate a possible exit, and they should be capable to find the right alignment with the management team, and especially with the chief executive officer of the company. In our case, I have to say that Francesco Baschieri was the right person in the right companies, because he was really capable to drive the company through a number of adversity and to find at the end the right alignment of interest among different players, different companies, meaning different shareholders, plus a number of investors coming from the Italian company. But after 10 years, as I said, the exit was finally reached. Francesco is still working in Voxnest and is having, I mean, a very promising career within the group. The Italian investors, which is us plus Business Angels Club based in Milan, are quite happy about the results, and we all I mean are I mean keen also to check what will be next about Voxnext, because we believe that the company, even if we are out of the shareholder base, the company will have a big success. So just I mean to highlight the most relevant points which have helped us to reach the exits are to find and to bet on the right team, to have a flexible and fully committed CEO, and to support the company through adjustment of business model, without being afraid about that, because at the end the success, if you have on your side the right team, the success will arrive. So I think that from my side it is all. If you have questions, I will be here at the end of the session, and more than happy to provide you with more details about the Spreaker exit.
Thanks, Francesca. I give the floor to the Spanish experience. Please, Dr. Martinez.
Good afternoon to all. I would like to say that, of course, I have not prepared a presentation based on whoever knows me. I like to talk quite a lot, like all the PhDs. We like to talk a lot, especially on business side. The shipyard where we are actually, as you know, it's built in 1956 based on naval military use in the Spanish Civil War. Then later closed up in 2010 due to government restrictions and other political restrictions. I will show you the way it is. Let's see if I can.
I think we just need to activate you if you want to share the screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, just a moment.
Yes, just a second. Now you can share your screen.
Okay, I just want to show you exactly the location of where it is. It's easier if I can. Clever one. No, the screen is not compatible with the program. Anyway, the shipyard is quite we have a single dry dock, and we got it in 2015 by actually a casualty, because we was running a shipping group where two of my vessels dry docked in that shipyard, and the third time the owner in that time was planning to retire, so the owner of my company is a single investor. He pretended to jump into a new business that, of course, I was working in Slovenia, between Slovenia and London. He said that due to I was Spanish, to come back to Spain, something that I did not want to do initially, just so you know. We started the business in a very poor condition, because it was left during 5 years without no operation, nothing, so everything was quite in bad shape. Right now, we have done 50 vessels, and during the last 6 years is around 8.4 vessels per year. We have invested around 1.7 million to bring the yard up to position. We have found a very correct location, even if the shipyard of Seville is in a very complicated area for a shipyard, because it's totally out of the sea limit, because we are inland shipyard. We are 96 kilometers away from the sea. The good advantage is that we have found correctly a good positioning for tankers, LNGs, LPGs, container vessels that actually they are not more than 140 meters length by 20 wide. But of course, we are talking 6,500 vessels around all our beautiful sea trading. The surprise for us was the second year the people started to understand, because I have to say that it sounds funny, but a lot of people, Seville is only fares and drinks. They never understand that it was a fantastic hub to work with. So I invite all of you to come to Seville to see the shipyard, of course, not in summer. Of course, whoever comes from Egypt or any other country, yes, they can come in summer. But the rest never come in summer, because we reach the 50 degrees quite easily. The owner invested nearly all his time. We sold the last ship a month ago. So he put all his synergy into the dry dock position. Because for us, it was a lot easier, because we found a correct market for that type of dry dock, that, as I say, is not a big dry dock. We reinvented the concept of the COVID issue that, of course, affected all of us now. As Marco was saying earlier, the traveling today is nearly impossible. So now everything is via video conference. If it was already difficult before when you were seeing people face to face, with a video conference is even more complicated to get the confidence of the people to come to your area. Right now, we are positioned, as I said, quite strategically. The authorities and everything are quite helped in all ways for us to reach the target. And from now on, we are continuing now to start probably 2022 with the new constructions of vessels. Because right now we only did ship repair and conversion, because we had to update it, all the facility, because as I said, it was left back during 5 years, and you know that any facility 5 years abandoned is more or less a restart up. At the moment, we are investing in new projects that soon you will know via the webinar in another time. And we will start updating a lot more. Of course, we are open to do collaboration and business with other countries, because we already have collaborations with Panama, we already have collaborations with other shipyards and clients from worldwide. And of course, I will please invite you to feel free to send, if you are necessary inside on the Spanish side, we'll be more than helpful to help. And if you have any questions, I'm open to answer.
Okay, thanks. Question will be on the table at the end of the session, of the webinar session. So thanks, Dr. Martinez. I give the floor to Dr. Amira Shawky.
Just a moment, just to ask to send the questions by the chat, because I know also that Mr. Martinez has needs to leave at certain time. So if we can anticipate, if the public can anticipate the questions, so we can start collecting them. And please, sorry for interrupting you.
Thank you, Carlo.
Sorry for interrupting you, and please ask to Dr. Amira Shawky to continue.
Good evening, all. I'm happy to be with you on this floor. Let me start sharing my presentation. I'm not allowed yet. Okay.
Now it should be. We can see.
Okay. Reference to the exit management, I'll talk about the concept and also the experience about one of our successful freight forwarder companies in Egypt and how they exit and what they done after exit. For the concept of exit, it's not a new trend. It has started by the Egyptian pharaohs as they were agreed on that there is life after death. So they have prepared for an exit plan. Okay, I think most of you maybe have heard about the Egyptian pharaohs or visit Egypt, so they can know about the graves of the Egyptian pharaohs and the pyramids. It was an exit plan. Also, in all religions, there is an exit plan. Everyone has to go to hell or to heaven. So it depends on your exit plan. According to this, you can continue. This is in the religion and in the Egyptian histories 7,000 years ago. Then it could be in business. With business, we have different issues in the last years and what we have faced after COVID-19. By facing COVID-19, I think every company has to have its exit plan in two ways. One in the regular way and other one in the emergency. It's like the fire plan. Okay, then you have to plan and analyze your states of the company and your risk assessment and decide how to use your strategy. Everyone is absolutely committed to get his result and see that this is the right result. It depends on how they can use it. In Egypt, we have some problem with taxes. We have, as any other country, problems with the financial accounting. And if you want to make an exit plan, correct exit plan, you have to mix between all the stakeholders. For tax professional, for financial accounting, and the family and the investor, and how to prepare your company to be ready for an exit. If it will be through acquisition, it will be you will sell it or you will make the stocks for public. Then we'll go through our example as freight professional was one of the leading company freight forwarding in the Egyptian market. It started almost 1990. The founder was Mr. Ayman Youssef and Mr. Hamdi Mabrouk. I have the honor that I worked with them in 1996. They have established a good company. This company was with a good basic of customers and good infrastructure. We have branches in Alexandria, in Port Said, and they have in Cairo. They have their warehouses. They have a growth story for the company from the 19th till the 2002, and they start their exit plan. They take the exit plan opportunity when the company was going up and growing. After making the base of the customer and the base of a good financial position, and also a good team with experienced team and well-educated team. He's start his exit plan. As I said, it was in the growth of the company. They sell it to Aramex. Aramex, its origin in Jordan, but it's international. There is Aramex for courier and Aramex for logistics. Aramex Logistics has bought Freight Professional for a huge amount of money. In this time, it was almost 80 million Egyptian pound, which about $10 million in the first of the century, 2002, 2004, something like that. I can't remember exactly, that's it. When they bought for 2 years, working under the supervision of Freight Professional, and then they have changed the name and used the brand of Aramex. When they have the exit, they didn't stop on this stage. Mr. Hamdi Mabrouk has made EG Stores, which is a bounded warehouse. He exit from Freight Professional, but not from the logistics market. And the other partner, Mr. Ayman Youssef, has established his manufacturing for furniture, Divano, with almost 18 branches, and he used it also to develop this project through the logistics for delivery and through the application of the internet mobile. Every one of us have to be prepared for an exit strategy, and this has been approved by the COVID-19 and what did with us, that all plans has been changed. The only prepared one who is ready for this crisis and has crossed it. So it's not an exit strategy, it's preparing the company itself. This is how we can make the strategy recommended by BNP Paribas Bank. Every one of us has his own plan for the exit. If he will take it for risk as a retire plan, or he will take it for another future plan. We have from the first to start, before starting to know how we can exit, to go to heaven by our companies, not to hell. Thanks, and I'll wait for your question by the end of the session. Thanks for your time.
Thanks to all the speakers, a good experience webinar, a lot of suggestions concerning exit management, exit action to prepare in order to achieve a successful result. I give the floor to all the participants in the Q&A session. Please raise your hand and put the question or in the chat or directly. Thanks to everybody.
Yes, thanks to everyone, and of course, thanks for the speakers. I will just remind that Mr. Cuenca Martinez will stay just a few minutes, and then we'll have to leave. So I just ask to all the public if there is any question or curiosity, just to feel free to use the tool of Zoom. So instead, I believe that maybe from personal side, there are a few words that I pointed out from each case. And in the first one, it impressed me the term of agility. So when talking about the agility of an SME is to make innovation, as was pointed out in the case of Arsenal and the Fincantieri. And in the second case, in the second intervention of Francesca Natali, the word that came in my mind was the team. So the importance of the team, the management team. And when talking about the case in Spain of also of Mr. Martinez, the word that is still in my mind is about new projects for planning the future. And that, and personally, when I was even listening for the case in Egypt, also the word of planning but at the same time the way out that could be planned or not planned is something that I think it's really is something that is really becoming frequent, especially during this time. Actually, at that point, I see that we have. I cannot see any question in the chat, so I'm just asking to confirmation to my colleagues if it's correct, and if it's correct. Okay, I would just say that the project it's ending this year, so Cluster Act project. And of course, I said before, we are covering these 5 nations, and we will continue the activities that foresee some local matchmaking events. We already performed in Italy, but we will do in all the other countries some matchmaking events to help investors and enterprises to match and to try to find the common paths to move together. And at the same time, we will have a final international event in Italy in September 2021. And we hope that we can, we have planned to do it physically. So we hope that the general situation will improve better in the upcoming months. And at this event, we plan to bring enterprises from the whole countries. And so we will work on this. We will keep people, of course, the public and the interested stakeholders informed. I don't know if there is any additional comments just for closing the session.
Carlos, I would like to say thank you for the cluster to invite, of course, myself, and I will be more than happy to help anybody around any side of the world. At the end of the day, it's a chain of favor, as the film, the famous American film. At the end, the individual can be weak. Between all of us, we can build a big strength. Today, thank God to the technology is very nearby all of us, even if we are thousands of kilometers away. Is only one link and we can be all together. So I invite you all to continue being linked to any person in any part of the world can be a big help to any of us. Thank you very much and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
And thank to all the speakers that were with us this afternoon. And we hope to be in touch with all the developments of the projects.
Thank you for this invitation, and we would like to share with you anything about Egypt and about the cluster also through my company as Lines as a freight forwarder, or through the Egyptian International Freight Forwarder Association, to provide the industry with any information about the freight forwarder and logistic sector in Egypt. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we are more or less close to the end. Thank you also to Francesca and Natali, and thanks to Marco Iez and Michele Tornielli.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. And we just let you know that we will have, we can follow the projects on the website. So it's clusteract.eu, and of course through the activity of the cluster and then of the other partners. So have a nice evening to all of you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.